My stepdaughter said I was just background noise in her life. So I went quiet, canceled the weekly help she relied on, and let her explain the gaps. The silence traveled fast. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Reddit Visuals. I'm going to tell you something I used to believe: if you showed up consistently for a kid, even if you weren't blood, that effort would eventually matter. Turns out some people can watch you bleed out slowly and still complain you're dripping on the carpet. I'm 41. I work in logistics. Nothing glamorous, but it's stable. I'm the guy who makes sure other people's emergencies don't become disasters. 10 years ago, I met my wife, Nia. She was a single mom with a daughter, Sam. Sam was 12 when I came into their lives. Her bio dad was around the way a streetlight is around. You notice it when it's out, but you don't really think about it when it's on. I didn't come in trying to replace him. I kept my place. I didn't force closeness. But when Sam started high school and Nia's schedule shifted, I became the steady part. I was the one who knew her teachers' names. I was the one who kept granola bars in the glove box. I was the one who set up the "if you ever feel unsafe, call me, no questions" rule. I did it because that's what you do when you love someone. You love the people attached to them too. Sam is 22 now. Last year of college, living 30 minutes away. About 2 years ago, when she moved into her apartment, she asked for help setting up. It wasn't crazy. We helped her move, built furniture, stocked the pantry. Then it became a pattern. Every week, Sam would text, "Hey, can you pick up my groceries? Can you look at my sink? My car is making a sound. I need help with my resume, like now." At first, I didn't mind. I'm handy. I can fix things. But after a while, I noticed two things. One, she never asked how my week was. Two, she never said thank you in a way that felt human. It was always thanks like a receipt confirmation. Transaction completed. She'd come by on Sundays, sweep in, kiss her mom, give me a quick nod like we were co-workers. Sam would talk over me at dinner. If Nia asked about my week, Sam would roll her eyes like my life was background programming. Once, my brother came over. We were sitting outside talking. Sam was inside on FaceTime with a friend, speaker on, loud enough for the whole house to hear. And I heard her say, laughing, "That's just him. He's like background noise in my life. He's always there, like a ceiling fan. You don't think about it until it stops." Her friend laughed. Sam laughed harder. My brother looked at me like he wanted to walk inside and flip a table. I put my hand up. "Don't. Not here." I tried to play it off. Maybe I was being sensitive, but a week later she said it again. To my face. She came by on a Sunday. Nia was running late. Sam was in the kitchen, scrolling, half listening to me talk about work. She didn't look up, just said, "Can you lower it? That's kind of background noise." I laughed once on reflex. Background noise? She finally looked up, bored. "Yeah, you're always talking about work stuff. It's like you're just there." I stared at her, not angry, not yet, just stunned. Because she didn't say it in a heated moment. She said it like she was telling me the weather, and something in me clicked into place. Not rage, something colder. I realized I'd been begging for respect she had no intention of giving. Sam had gotten comfortable treating me like a utility, a function, a resource. Because while I was background noise emotionally, I was still very much the foreground when she needed something. That night, I told Nia exactly what happened. At first, she tried to soften it. She doesn't mean it. I didn't raise my voice. I just said, "I'm done being her ceiling fan." Nia frowned. "What does that mean?" "It means I'm going to match her energy. I'm going to stop feeding a relationship that's only one way." She looked nervous. "Are you going to punish her?" "No," I said. "I'm going to stop rescuing her. That's not punishment. That's reality." Friday came like clockwork. Sam texted, "Hey, can you swing by after work? My internet is down and I have a Zoom thing." Normally, I would have gone. This time I stared at the text and did something that felt almost illegal. I didn't respond. 5 minutes later. "Hello? 10 minutes. It's important. 20. Mom said you'd help." I waited until I got home. I ate dinner. I took a shower. Then, calmly, I typed, "I'm not available." That's it. No explanation. Her reply came instantly. "Are you serious?" I didn't answer. The next day, she called her mother. I could hear it on speaker. Why is he acting weird? Nia sighed. Because you hurt his feelings. Sam scoffed. I didn't do anything. He's being dramatic. Nia said, You called him background noise. Sam said, So? It's not that deep. Nia paused. It was deep to him. Sam said, Whatever. Can you just tell him to come fix my internet? And that was the moment where I realized we weren't dealing with a misunderstanding. We were dealing with entitlement. Nia told her, No, call your provider. Sam made a sound like she was choking. Are you kidding me? Nia said. Welcome to adulthood. Sam hung up. That week I did 3 things. Quietly. With receipts. First, I canceled the weekly help officially. Her parking permit I'd renewed. A subscription on my card. The roadside assistance on her car. The grocery runs where I'd cover the difference. I didn't announce it. I simply removed my card from anything tied to her. Second, I documented everything. Every time she asked for help. Every time I went. Every time I paid. Dates, screenshots, receipts. Because when someone like Sam loses access to a resource, they rewrite history to make you the villain. Third, I stayed quiet, polite, calm. I didn't block her. I didn't argue. I just stopped being available. And that silence started traveling. By Sunday, Sam texted, Can you stop being petty and bring me groceries tomorrow? I'm swamped. Petty. That's what she called me, refusing to be a servant. I didn't respond. On Monday, she posted on Instagram. Just text on a soft beige background. When grown men throw tantrums because you don't worship them. Nia showed it to me with her jaw tight. I laughed once. Not because it was funny. Because it was predictable. Days passed. Sam's texts became more frequent, more desperate. Her car, her sink, her internet. And for the first time in 2 years, she had to handle it herself. Every gap I left, every absence where I used to show up, she felt it. 2 weeks later, Nia's company hosted a family event. One of those charity things with booths, photos, food trucks. Sam had been begging to come because she wanted to network. She'd been trying to get an internship through one of Nia's co-workers. I told Nia, I'm going with you. Sam found out and texted me, Pauls, don't be weird on Saturday. I replied with 4 words, I won't say much. Saturday came. Sam met us at the entrance. She looked polished, confident. She hugged her mom tightly, then gave me that quick half smile like I was the Uber driver. Hey, I nodded. Hey. We walked through the event. Sam did the whole charming act, compliments, laughter. She was good at it. Then we headed to the parking lot to leave. Sam's car made that grinding noise, the one I'd usually fix. Sam's face went pale. She looked at me, expectant, like muscle memory. I didn't move. I just looked back at her calmly. She blinked. Can you? No, I said. Quiet. Final. Her mouth opened. But call a tow truck, I said. Or your dad. The air changed. Nia looked between us but didn't intervene. Sam's eyes filled with panic. Real panic. Because she'd just realized, in that parking lot, in front of people, that I wasn't her safety net anymore. She pulled out her phone with shaking hands and called roadside assistance. 45-minute wait. She stood there, arms crossed, humiliated, and I felt nothing. Not satisfaction, not guilt, just calm. That night she posted again, a full paragraph about toxic men and narcissists who punish you when you don't perform gratitude. She didn't name me. She didn't have to. But this time, I was ready. I called a family meeting. Sam showed up the next evening, sunglasses on. Nia sat at the table with her arms crossed. I didn't greet Sam. I slid a folder across the table. Sam frowned. What is this? I said. Your weekly help. She scoffed. Are you seriously doing paperwork? I looked at her calmly. You posted that I'm toxic and controlling. I want to be very clear about what's true. Nia opened the folder. Dates, screenshots, payments, receipts. Sam's confidence wavered. That's creepy. It's accurate, I said. I flipped to a page. Here's every time you asked for groceries. Here's the roadside assistance renewal. Here's the subscription. Here's the texts where you said please and then called me petty. Sam tried to interrupt. You didn't have to do any of that. Exactly, I said. I chose to. And you chose to call it background noise. Nia finally spoke. Sam, why would you say those things online? Sam's eyes darted. Because Nia cut her off. Because you were embarrassed. Sam's jaw clenched. Nia said, You humiliated him first. Sam's voice rose. It was a joke, I said quietly. Then explain why you repeated it when you weren't joking. She froze. Nia grabbed her phone, opened Sam's post, and read it aloud. Slowly, every word. Then she looked at Sam. This is what you wrote about my husband. The man who's been here. The man you call when your life leaks. Sam's cheeks flushed. Mom, stop, Nia said. No, you wanted an audience. You have one. Then Nia forwarded the post to her sister, Sam's aunt, the woman who had zero patience for nonsense. 10 minutes later, Sam's aunt called. On speaker. Sam, her aunt said, voice sharp as glass. Did you really post that? Sam whispered. It's complicated. Her aunt laughed once. No, it's not. You're grown. You want to play adult games, you get adult consequences. Sam tried to talk, but her aunt kept going. You embarrassed your mother. You embarrassed yourself. And you used that man for 2 years while calling him invisible. Her aunt continued, You have 2 choices. Apologize like a grown woman, or keep digging. Sam's eyes filled with angry tears, not guilt, anger. Because she was being forced into a corner where manipulation didn't work. Sam stood up. Her voice cracked. So what? You're both against me? I said, No. We're both finally seeing you clearly. She grabbed her purse and left. For days it was quiet. Then her apartment had a plumbing issue. The landlord served her a notice. She panicked and called her mom. Nia was in a meeting. So Sam called me. She didn't say hello. She said, I need you. Like, now. I stared at the phone until it stopped ringing. She texted, Please, then, I'll apologize. Then, this is serious. Then, if I lose this apartment, it's your fault. I read every message. I did not respond. Nia called her back an hour later. Sam was hysterical. Nia said, Call your landlord. Handle it. Sam screamed, I don't know how. Nia said, Then learn. Sam's landlord charged her for the repair plus a late fee. She had to pay it. She posted a cryptic story about people letting you drown. Except Sam made a mistake. She tried to spin the story to mutual friends, told them I was financially abusive. She forgot something. When you treat someone like background noise, you stop paying attention to their connections. One of those friends, Denise, came over for coffee with Nia. I walked in from the garage. Denise said carefully, She's telling people some serious stuff. Is it true? I said, Denise, I'm happy to answer any question. With receipts. Nia reached for the folder. Denise read. Her face shifted from concern to disgust. She looked at Nia. He did all this? Nia nodded. Denise turned to me. And she called you background noise? I said, Yes. Denise sat back. Wow. Denise told people, not gossip, truth. The way communities correct misinformation. Suddenly, Sam's narrative wasn't spreading. People stopped liking her posts. People started asking questions. Sam didn't know how to handle a world where her victim's storyline didn't get applause. Then came the final moment. A family gathering. Nia's cousin's birthday. Sam showed up late. One of the cousins, young and blunt, looked at Sam and said, loud enough for people to hear, So, is he still background noise, or did you get your groceries figured out? The room froze. Sam's face went crimson. The cousin shrugged. I'm just asking. You posted all that stuff. Sam's eyes snapped to Nia. You told them? Nia didn't flinch. I told the truth. Sam looked around. People weren't on her side. They were watching her. When she tried to laugh it off, it came out thin. It was a joke. An aunt said quietly, Jokes are supposed to be funny. Sam stood there exposed. Her polished persona couldn't survive contact with her own behavior. She left early. Later that night, my phone buzzed. An email from Sam. Subject line, I was wrong. I didn't open it right away. Then I did. She wrote, I don't know why I said what I said. I think I've been acting like you're obligated to be there, and I hated admitting that. I didn't realize how much you did until you stopped. I'm sorry for embarrassing you. I'm sorry for what I posted. I took it down. I don't expect you to forgive me, but I want to stop being like this. I read it twice. Then I replied, not with warmth, not with cruelty, with boundaries. I wrote, thank you for owning it. Respect isn't something you negotiate for, it's something you practice. If you want a relationship with me, it starts with how you speak about me when I'm not in the room. I'm not your weekly help. I'm willing to rebuild slowly if you're willing to change consistently. She didn't respond for a day. Then she texted, okay. And over the next weeks, she tested it with behavior. She started handling her own problems. She stopped posting drama. She started asking her mom how she was. One Sunday she came over and stood in the kitchen while I cooked. She watched quietly. Then she said softly, can I help? I handed her a knife. Chop the onions. She did. Badly. Tears streaming. Not just from the onions. She laughed through it. A real laugh. The silence traveled fast because silence is honest. It reveals who's been coasting, who's been doing the work, who's been taking, and it forces people to confront themselves when the noise of convenience disappears. I'm not going to pretend we're healed. We're not. Trust doesn't rebuild on one email. But I don't feel like background noise anymore. I feel like a man who finally stopped performing love for someone who wasn't listening. So here's the question. Was I the a-hole for going quiet, canceling the weekly help she relied on, and letting her explain the gaps? What would you have done if your stepkid treated you like you were invisible but still expected you to keep showing up? Drop your verdict in the comments. NTA, YTA, ESH, or NAH. And if you want more stories like this, please like the video and subscribe to Reddit Visuals. It seriously helps the channel grow, and I appreciate you for being here.